what sparked the idea behind BAFAI, I think I would say, is a cluster of factors. Towards the end of year 2024, I got into the AI space, and I started researching, studying, taking multiple courses. And while that was going on, I was observing and I discovered that a number of people I even know, were losing their jobs, and they were struggling to get into other jobs because most businesses, most organizations now work very closely with what we now call AI co-workers. That is, AI is involved at some degree, in their businesses. So I discovered that as I continued to, get deeper into the space, I also saw that there was a lot of disruption going on in the different industries, healthcare, agriculture. So many industries were being disrupted. And while that was going on as well, there were a number of meetups, meetings, conferences that I was also attending virtually and physically. And I remember when we converged at Geneva, where I was also at the United Nations building, where we all came together from across the globe to discuss extensively about the opportunities and the threats that AI was already posing to the world and to businesses and careers. It really dawned on me that this was a global issue, and it was something that was affecting especially the global south more, because there is already a gap, employment gap, literacy gap in the global south. So I saw the gaps were becoming wider. There was a knowledge gap, there was a skill gap in being able to effectively be eligible enough to take on those new roles that AI was creating, especially for those of us in the global south. And that really sparked a desire for me to do something about that. And I just put two and two together and I said, there's already a training tech hub which is existing, that I run as the founder and CEO. And I already have a wide network of people in the AI space. And then there are these many people who do not know anything about AI or know little to nothing that could bring them, gainful employment or a business that is profitable and can scale even at a global level. And I said, if I put all these factors together, I think I can do something about this real issue. And that was how the inspiration came. And as they say, the rest is history today. BAFAI is different in many ways. And first and foremost, the fact that we all are probably guilty of this, where we go to e-learning platforms, we start courses, and we almost never finish these courses because we call them self-paced, you learn at your pace and all of that. But we all know when life gets busy or when we get engrossed in other things, we never get around to finishing the courses that we start. So one thing that makes BAFAI stand out of just that whole e-learning cluster is, number one, that as much as it's a self-paced e-learning platform, it is also supervised. When you get into any of our cohorts, you are automatically placed in a community that encourages and fosters engagement and accountability. And as a result, it is very possible that you would finish as you started. And so that's the first thing. The other thing is that at BAFAI, we are very particular about the new roles AI is creating. As much as we will focus on upskilling our learners to know more about what AI is doing in their spaces, we would also be teaching them or exposing them to what is going on in the AI roles, like the new roles that AI is creating. We would teach them, we would open their eyes to some of the opportunities that AI is presenting so that they can begin to adapt and align, some of their plans and strategies and skills into taking on some of these roles that are vacant and looking for people to fill. So those are the things that make BAFAI stand out. And I think one of the things for me that is really interesting is that we're also now able to help organizations train their staff so we can make customized modules for their staff that speaks directly to their industries. That I think is a very interesting differentiation between BAFAI and other e-learning platforms. Absolutely, I do not have a tech background, and here I am as a Chief Artificial Intelligence Officer and also an emerging AI governance expert. And now I'm an edtech entrepreneur in artificial intelligence. So if you do not have a tech background, in fact, you're a major candidate, for being an AI pro at some point if you're very focused and you really want to do this.